All right, guys, normally I would do a long form deep dive video on Saturday. This is the day that I usually do these kind of videos, but being sick has not been fun. I haven't shot a video for over a week, so that's why you've been seeing some videos of, chatting with brand owners and things like that I shot way back in September, October of last year. So there was a lot of content that I hadn't aired. So I kind of used the excuse of being sick, which I have been sick, to air some of the content that has been lingering around that hasn't aired. But I did want to get a new video out there for you guys. And what I was going to do was air my deep dive video that normally airs today, which is a spring themed video. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to air that tomorrow after I shoot it tomorrow. Well, yeah, the way that I do these videos sometimes is shoot it the day before. So I will hopefully feel much better tomorrow, as this flu has been lingering for a whole week. It's one of the worst flus I've ever actually had. So it's kind of a flu that makes you feel really, really exhausted. So anyway, I wanted to get a video out there of another collection of discounted fragrances for you guys. And stay tuned for the spring-themed deep dive video tomorrow, where I'll have around 100 fragrances for you guys to, check out to wear during the spring season. But let's get started with this list of discounted fragrances. But before we do, let me show you some fragrances that I recently purchased. And I've got the prices listed here as well. One of them I actually mentioned in one of these videos, and it was a fragrance that I was looking for. I couldn't find. It's from the house of Mugler, and it's their flanker to the Alien series, MUSC Mysterio. So I found it, and I tagged it here, and I mentioned it in a video going back several weeks to maybe mid-January. And this is one that I've been wanting to have. I never owned it personally, and I'm happy that I ended up getting it at the discounter. And it was really a great price because it was $75 for this. This came out around 2015, I believe, somewhere around there. It's Dominique Ropillon, and it's basically a musk take on the original Alien series. So I paid $75 for this. It's a collectible, and yeah, it's a woman's fragrance, but since I'm a collector and like to collect these flankers, and I never got my hands on this, I'm happy to have it. And it actually smells great as well. Look at how dark it is, by the way. So it's taking the original Mugler Alien, which is jasmine focused, and taking it into a musky direction. But this is a really deep offering. Unless the fragrance has matured and macerated in the box itself, it's pretty deep for a flanker of Alien. But not stopping at that, I'm happy to have this, and I'm glad I found it because I've been wanting it. The other thing I do is I've already reviewed the Oud Magisto, I think that's what it's called, the Alien Oud, which I have a full review of on the channel. I need to get another bottle of that if I can find it. I think the Oud was all along more popular than the musk, but I'm enjoying the musk. Look at this though. So this must have been overstock from some stores that the discounters had picked up, and it didn't come cellophane wrapped. It was like this, but it smells fantastic. Now, in the same order, I also have a more recent Alien flanker. It's Alien Extra Intense in the EDP. It's also a tester that I bought, and I paid $90 for this. I can't remember exactly the price that it's retailing for, but I believe I mentioned it in the video. I like this. I kind of prefer the Alien Musk much more. This is a bit soapier and cleaner. The musk is a bit dirtier and also really like a fully bloomed, ripe, flowers, whereas this one seems cleaner, soapier, and not as fresher, I should say, not as deep, but still smells great. I think it's a spring appropriate fragrance, whereas the Alien Musk is more of a like a heavier, like it comes off very heavy. This is pretty clean and soapy. Are you guys a fan of the Extra Intense, Alien Extra Intense? Are you a fan of the MUSC Mysterio, Alien MUSC Mysterio? Let me know. I recently picked those up. And finally, I've mentioned this in many videos, and I've been highlighting this fragrance, and I haven't owned it for a long time because I've run out or I've just lost my bottle. But I did end up buying a tester bottle of BYREDO's Bal d'Afrique. So finally have a bottle. This was not a really great deal, although BYREDO doesn't really get highly discounted. At least I haven't been able to find. But I did pay $225 for this. And I think the 100 ml is now somewhere around $350. But that's Bal d'Afrique. It's a fragrance I've worn since early on in my journey. And it's actually a vetiver focused fragrance, but seems to be, it's wonderful. I like the smell. It's also used a lot in hotel amenities and products, and not necessarily with the name BYREDO. So I don't know if BYREDO licenses out the smell itself to hotel chains, but I've stayed at some hotels that the products were smelling like Bal d'Afrique, but the name wasn't on it. But it's a very easy to wear vetiver fragrance, and I feel like it's quite unisex. That came in a packaging like this, and again, it's a tester, and I'm going to talk a lot about testers in this video. And testers, are not full presentation. In fact, this came in just a bubble wrap like this, the Alien Extra Intense. So both of those were testers, but the MUSC Mysterio Alien was not. So anyway, I want to highlight some of the fragrances that I've purchased recently. And we're going to get started with the actual list here shortly. But before I do that as well, if you guys haven't noticed, we do have a brand spanking new Scent Club kit number 18 with these 3 fragrances. So we've got Liquor BPM from L'Orchestre Parfum. We've got Vava Vanilla, a brand spanking new fragrance from Sarah Baker, and Le Bras de Morphe, the Arms of Morpheus from the House of Hellenist. So the fragrances are here. That is Liquor BPM. Now, Vava Vanilla from Sarah Baker just launched, by the way. It's brand spanking new. It just launched like at the end of January. So that's a really new fragrance here. And then this is the Le Bras de Morphe. All 3 awesome fragrances, favorite fragrances. So that's also selling now as well. Again, I do chapters in these videos. So if you want to skip around, you can always do that as you're watching. But the first deal I'm going to let you know about, a really great deal. It's a 100 ml bottle tester that sells for $60. Normally, suggested retail on this is 100 ml for $190. It's Mugler's Angel Stellar. It's a ladies or feminine fragrance, but taking the original DNA into more of a nutty pistachio direction. It's super yummy and super delicious, I think. A great flanker. So you have the original reminder in here of the original. It doesn't smell as old school. It's modernized for sure, but you've got that earthy, sparkling feature of the patchouli in the base to give you the, the DNA of the original, basically, which I'm a big fan of. I consider Mugler's Angel one of the masterpieces of, perfumery. And you have it modernized here with that kind of doughy, creamy, slightly milky nuttiness of the pistachio. So if you haven't bought yourself a bottle yet, a $60 tester of this is awesome. And this is the kind of presentation you would get testers with. Sometimes you don't even get a plain box. You just get it in a kind of bubble wrappy kind of situation. But this is totally worth it for that price, I think. The $60 for 100 ml. When the suggested retail is $190. It's really, really awesome. Let's move on to the House of Guerlain next. It's a fragrance from the Aqua Allegoria collection, and it's Nerolia Vetiver. So Nerolia Vetiver, I think, is a great fragrance to wear come warm days in the spring, and of course, summertime when it's quite warm outside. That's the fragrance right there. It's neroli and vetiver, basically. So you've got citrus floral notes, and you've got the grassy, aromatic, woody effect of the vetiver in the base. So it might come off a bit simplistic, but I think you've got a bit more feminine side with the neroli on the top, and then you've got a bit more masculine side in the base. I absolutely love Orange Blossom Neroli fragrances. And here they've done a really nice job balancing out the feminine side and the masculine side. So this is 125 ml for $50. Really great price for this. Normally it's 125 for 125 ml for $170. So really, really awesome price. For me, it would be much more ideal to get the refill of this. The refill is a 200 ml refill bottle, which I don't think you can wear. I mean, you can't spray it, but you can, if you don't buy the full presentation, you can put them in atomizers if you buy, atomizers. But a 200 ml refill is $57. So normally the 200 ml refill is $202. And I checked the prices on the Guerlain website. So these are really, really great prices. For these, you can get a head start with buying your fragrances for, the upcoming spring and summer seasons, and definitely one of the best from the Aqua Allegoria collection. So that's Nerolia Vetiver. Keep in mind, 125 ml for the original is $50. Normally 125 ml is $170, and then the 200 ml refill is $57. Normally 200 ml refill is $202. So check that deal out. And the way I do these videos, I do tag the products here as I'm talking about them. They pop up and you can click on them and head over to the discounter, and you can, buy a bottle if you're interested. All right, let's move on to the next collection of fragrances. I've got two fragrances from Ralph Lauren, keeping in the neroli kind of theme, or orange blossom theme. So we've got a Polo Earth refill for $40. So 200 ml bottle of Polo Earth for $40. It's a great price. I kind of need it myself. As you can see, I've used quite a bit of this one. This, I think, is also a great alternative to Mugler's cologne. They don't smell identical. There's something uniquely original about Mugler's cologne in comparison to other Orange Blossom Neroli themed fragrances. The Ralph Lauren is a bit more traditional, and with the Mugler, I find it has something futuristic and modern about it. That's the only difference. Otherwise, they have similar notes. They have the neroli orange blossom. They have the leaves of the orange tree, the greenness, the woody, earthy green bitterness of the leaves. You might even have the citruses, of course. I think for sure you have the citruses, the juice of the actual citruses. And of course, there's aromatics listed in here and some light woods, perhaps something like vetiver in this as well. But if you like the idea of a citrus floral, aromatic, woody, maybe there's some musk in here as well. I think this totally satisfies. And the 200 ml refill for $40 is a really great price, because normally the 200 ml refill is $152. So it's more than 50% off. And if you don't have the original bottle, you might have some atomizers that you can fill it in to, take the bottle with you, because the refills are not sprayable. So check that one out. It's 200 ml refill for $40, not $50. I almost said $50. Again, it's more than 50% off for that refill. And if you have the original bottle, like I most likely should take advantage of that. It's a great deal. But this next one is Ralph Lauren's Polo Cologne Intense, which is this. And I have a really large bottle of it. I don't know why my phone my watch keeps giving me notifications when I have it on theater mode. But let's go back to the Ralph Lauren Polo Cologne Intense. This is the large bottle that I had bought from Macy's when this first came out. It's a 237 ml. But there's a tester of this in the 120 ml bottle, or is it 125 ml, for $35. And what this is nothing like the original Polo Green that came out in the late 70s. It's a much more modern take on something pulpy, fruity, juicy, zesty, focusing on the grapefruit. And you've got a very grapefruit pulpiness in this. And you've got aromatic notes. You've got vetiver and things like that in here as well. So it gets it gets, you know, woody, aromatic, spicy, but it's a really nice, refreshing, and again, very pulpy, zingy take on grapefruit. So it's a grapefruit focused fragrance. It's called Polo Cologne Intense. The bottle looks like that. It's not identical because the original in the green bottle that came out in the late 70s has a gold cap. But this is also capitalizing on the word cologne, whereas the original doesn't have the name cologne. So they came out with this flanker. I find it to be very refreshing, easy to wear, and perfect summertime fragrance if you like the idea of grapefruit. It doesn't smell like Tigar or something like that, but you do notice the grapefruit in this. And so, again, very refreshing, invigorating. 125 ml tester of Polo Cologne Intense is $35. I'm looking at my cheat sheet because I wrote down the prices because I won't remember the prices. It's normally 125 ml is $130. So a great price for that. Up next, we've got something that I've never spoken about. I collected these bottles one day when I bought them, and now I wish I waited to buy this at this price. But it's a tester once again, and it won't come with full presentation. I'm talking about Moschino's Fresh Couture Gold. You guys know this one? These are the bottles that look like Windex bottles. This is 100 ml, $25. A tester bottle of this is $25. Really, really great price. Fun bottles. This doesn't really spray. You have to take it out, and there's an actual sprayer there. But it kind of looks like a Windex bottle. When the original launched in the, I think it was the early 2010s, or did it come out in the late 2000s? Sometime around then. And Bloomingdale's had put them out, and I was like, what are these bottles? Moschino always does these kind of funky things with their fragrance bottles, like the Toy Boy bottles and things like that. So this is taking the original fragrance, which I'm not a fan of. I kind of like the flankers more, into a bit more warmer, ambery, spicy, sweet kind of direction. I think the color of the bottle is kind of what you smell. And even though you might not be into the fragrance, I think these bottles are kind of fun to have. You've got like a Windex-like situation happening. It's called Fresh. So this is the Fresh Couture Gold. Whoa. Fresh Couture, yeah. Fresh Couture on the front there. So I believe Alberto Moria's created this. I can't quite remember because I haven't spoken about it, so I can't retain information that I haven't searched over and over again, if that makes sense. But I prefer this one much more than the original, which actually looks like a Windex bottle. At least this has a bit more substance than the original. But it is a real cheap offering for the tester, $25. And the testers usually don't come with full presentation, as I said. So you'll basically just get the bottle. Anyway, that is a great deal. Check that out. Up next, I'm talking about one fragrance from Reminiscence. It's Dolce Riviera, which used to be called Patchouli Blanc. So this is the latest Patchouli Blanc. I have an actual bottle before the brand redid their branding presentation. This is selling for $40, 100 ml. Normally it's $150. And Patchouli Blanc or Dolce Riviera is a light take on patchouli. And if you like the idea of patchouli and you don't want it to be as earthy as I like, because I love my patchoulis to be earthy, but also chocolatey, cakey, with the addition of all the resins and amber and vanilla, then you would go with something like this. It's slightly sweet. You do have the earthiness of the patchouli, but maybe it's more in line with something like Coromandel, even something like Juicebox's 54. But Juicebox's 54, even though it comes off simplistic, there's depth about it. This is mostly some sweetness, a bit of sweetness with the earthiness of the patchouli. So it's a bit more simplistic. And what I'm trying to say is Juicebox's 54 has complexity. It has the booziness, the spices, the creaminess from the pina colada, and so on and so on. The cinnamon also with that one. But this is just like a bed of sweetness with the earthiness kind of dominating. A bit more like Coromandel. It's a great alternative for Coromandel, I think. Dolce Riviera from the house of Reminiscence. And what happened with the brand is Reminiscence is a retail, not a retailer. What am I saying? It's a jewelry brand, and so the jewelry and the perfume separated, and so they renamed their fragrances, and the real name is in the bottom there. It says Patchouli Blanc, but now they call it Dolce Riviera, which is some new naming that they have given. So I'm going to talk about some fragrances from the house of Rosendo Mateu. Man, these fragrances are highly discounted. What's going on with this brand? Now, they came out with a collection of year-named fragrances. Unfortunately, the one year, which I think is the most popular, 1970, which is also my birth year, and my favorite of the bunch, is not selling at the discounters because everybody seems to like it. But if you don't know 1970, to me, it's almost like butter. I'm sorry, like brown sugar and butter together with a little bit of milk. It's very doughy and sweet and sugary, but not gourmand heavy, like super cakey, fluffy. Just those ingredients together. It's so yummy. But sadly, that one's not available. I'm not going to talk about that one. The ones that they have available from this collection are 1968. A tester for $75. $75. Normally, it's $225 for the fragrances of this collection. $225 marked down to $75, but you're not going to get a full presentation. You're just going to get the bottle and the juice inside. So let me tell you a little bit about 1968. 1968 seems to be watery, fresh and spicy. A bit floral, I think, also. I think it has some... No, it doesn't have... No, I'm not picking up... There is one that's super aquatic, marine leaning, but it's not this one. This one seems to be more like a creamy white flower, but like a dewy, creamy white flower. So that's 1968. 1988 is the one that has like a marine experience, because it does say ozone on it right there. Ozone Mastery Modernity. I believe this fragrance, I believe this is the journey of the brand, the main man, the Rosendo Mateu, who is the perfumer. He's been a perfumer. He's passed away now, but he was a perfumer from the 70s. So this is like journeys of his, periods of his life as a perfumer. This one I don't care for much, actually. Even though it says ozone, I think it's more marine. It's got major marine touches, and that's why it doesn't appeal to me as much as some other fragrances would. So you might like this one if you're into marine fragrances. This is actually $80 for a 100 ml tester, but the first one and the last one I'm going to talk to you about are $75. I don't know why this one's more expensive. It's my least favorite, go figure. But first one being floral. It does say floral right there. But remember, it was kind of dewy and also creamy. And the last one, to me, it's more like a oudi kind of amber situation, more Middle Eastern leaning. And that's 2010. Yep, leathery as well. This is 100 ml 75. So for me, out of the three, this 2010 is my favorite. But as I was saying, my favorite is 1970, which is not featured here at the discounter because it's so yummy. But this one is leathery, spicy, oody woody, but more like a westernized oud, not the animalic variety that's super skanky. And of course, lots of leather. There's also saffron and rose I'm picking up, so it's a bit metallic with the saffron. So out of the three, I do enjoy that one. $75 for that one, which is a tester. And then followed by 1968, which is the floral. And I believe it's tuberose, can be jasmine. Let me do a quick sniff of it once more. It does come off dewy and creamy, like I said. Yeah. Yeah, it's floral for sure. Maybe it's a toss between 1988 and 1968. I can't decide which one. I do enjoy the 2010, but maybe you were in the market for one of these and you couldn't find it. for a good deal. Now it's available, 75 for the 1968 and 2010 and $80 for the 1988. I think it's a really, really great deal for those. Just keep in mind, it's not going to be full presentation. So the next one I'm going to talk to you about, which I actually already ordered. I just placed an order for this one because my bottle was so low. This is Un Jardin en Méditerranée from Hermes. So I've probably gone through, since my first bottle, gone through probably 4 bottles, maybe even 5 bottles since first buying this in around 2004 or 2005. Absolutely love this fragrance and the kind of fragrance it is. First of all, it's very fresh. Oh, I should tell you the price. 100 ml, $55 for the tester. Great price for it because normally full presentation it sells for 100 ml for $170. But again, going back to this, it's a fig-focused fragrance. It's Un Jardin en Méditerranée. It's Jean-Claude Elena. He's created this series of fragrances, Un Jardin, garden series. And I think I prefer, I don't have a problem with Christine Nagel, but I kind of prefer Jean-Claude Elena's Un Jardin fragrances a bit more. And I'm trying to see what the new one's going to be like that has just been announced. But once again, my favorite is Un Jardin en Méditerranée because I'm obsessed with figs. And this is the fruit and the greenness of the figs leaves. And it also has fresh citruses and some light aromatics, maybe some light spices and some woods as well. It's a perfect warm weather fragrance. There's something about it that's just so beautiful. It's a beautiful fragrance and it smells beautiful. So that's a great deal, a tester for $55. Again, I'm shooting this the day before. I've mentioned in other videos like this, I put my notes together several days ago, being sick in bed. And as I was prepping to shoot the video, several of the fragrances I was going to mention were already out of stock, sold out, really great deals. So I'm hoping by tomorrow these deals will still be there. But again, I already ordered a bottle of this as I love it. It's one of my favorites, so hopefully you guys will find it. Let's move on to the next page of deals. And I do have a bonus section of deals as well on fragrances that I have never owned, that I've already ordered with the Hermes. And it's such great deals for these. So you're going to not want to miss that section of the video. But the next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is from Dolce & Gabbana. It's Ladies Light Blue Summer Vibes. I do have to say, I bought these full presentation when they were announced, when they first were announced, because I think these came out in 2023, both the men's and the women's, because I really love the bottles. And I've not used them. I've smelled them. Being a collector, I love the bottles, and it reminds me of Portugal more than Italy, but I'm assuming they have this in Italy as well. This kind of, I forgot the name of what it was called in Portugal. Azul, something like that. I can't remember. But there's a tester, 100 ml for $40. So if you're a collector or you just want this gorgeous bottle, you can get it now for 100 ml, $40. The scent itself, it's a flanker to the original. It's a marine kind of fruity experience. Maybe that's it gives me the smell of the original, the DNA of the original, which to me I feel like is definitely one of the most popular ladies fragrances. To me, it also smells like Jardin d'Amalfi from Creed. Jardin d'Amalfi a bit more luxurious than the Dolce & Gabbana, but I think this smells great. It's perfect. It's fruity. It's apples, fresh and citrusy. Yeah, it's fun. Check that out. 100 ml for $40 tester. Just keep in mind the box will not come with it. Anyway, $40 is a great price for that. You can't find these lately. You can't find great deals on fragrances like that. And then I'm going to talk to you about 2 fragrances from the Spanish House of Angel Schlesser, and great deals on these. We've got Sensual Patchouli, which I've spoken quite a bit about, and also Deep Leather. And there's testers on both of these. I actually bought these at the discounters, and I paid around $60 for these. Now they're available for really, really inexpensively, and there's testers on them as well. The Sensual Patchouli is my favorite. There's 3 of them, and I'm actually also ordered the vanilla in this series as well recently, and that I haven't received yet. But the patchouli, if you're the type of person that likes to wear patchouli day in and day out, but you don't want it to be too thick and dense, you want the sexiness of the patchouli. It's got the great lingering power, and it is also leaning a bit green, not cakey, chocolate cakey. I think this is satisfactory for that kind of a situation. So it's 100 ml, 26 bucks for the tester, and this is how the bottle is. You know, remember, patchouli has that lingering power, and it's a great cheapie for this price. Super, super. I mean, I think it's totally worth $100 for this fragrance, but for 26, it's even better. But I noticed also it's back in stock, and it's actually, if you want the full presentation and you want it to come in a box like this, it's going to be just under $40. So either the fragrance itself for 46, for 26, or with the box for around $40. But I also want to talk to you about Deep Leather. Deep Leather is a leather-themed fragrance, also really great. And also, the fragrances from this series, the first 3, the patchouli, the leather, and then also the rose, are created by Hamid Moradi Kashani, who's done a lot of fragrances for the house of Parfums Marley. So if you like those fragrances, you kind of know his style. The leather is somewhere in between something like Tuscan leather, ombre leather, with a bit more, even further modern leather fragrances. So to me, it's kind of reminding me of something in that direction. But, you know, it's slightly animalic. It's a bit ambery in the base, not much freshness. And it's spicy as well. You've got saffron touches in this. But again, I think it's a satisfactory leather fragrance and super inexpensive. Once again, 100 ml tester for 26. And originally, as I said, I bought them for around $60 each. And you can get them for around full presentation, 40 bucks. And then I'm going to leave this video with this fragrance right here. It's from the house of GOUTAL, Annick Goutal. It's now called GOUTAL Paris. It's Eau de Monsieur. So there is a tester of this. I'm sorry, it's not a tester. It's a full presentation, I believe, for $57. So if you like fragrances like Eau d'Adrienne with a little bit of the twist of Eau Sauvage, Eau de Monsieur is the one that you should try. It's lemony, it's zesty, it's sweet tart, aromatic, spicy, woody, fresh, very, very fresh. So I was looking around the USA website of Annick Goutal or GOUTAL Paris. No listing for this fragrance, but I looked at the French website. I did see a listing for it. But in comparison, if I was to compare the pricing, the USA website lists Eau d'Adrienne, which is their most famous fragrance, 100 ml Eau de Toilette for $200. So the equivalent price for this would be around $200, but it's $57 for 100 ml. And the brand has been bought and sold many times, and they're known for Eau d'Adrienne. And I think Eau de Monsieur is kind of sort of, I wouldn't say a flanker, but something specifically targeted to men, but a bit like Eau d'Adrienne and something like Eau Sauvage. It's a great scent. I've worn quite a bit of it, and this is my bottle from probably 10 years ago. It still smells great. Thankfully, it hasn't turned. So that's all I have for you. Remember, I said I have these tagged all as I'm talking about them. If you're in the market for any of them, you can buy them. And the way the tagging works is on screen, there should be a little button that comes up on the left bottom, and it opens up a window of all the products that I've tagged. And you can click through to the discounter and take advantage of the fragrances at that time. And I can't guarantee these discounts will last because, as I said, I put my notes together earlier last week. And by the time I was shooting this video, a few products were already sold out. Thankfully, the majority of them are still here, and I'm talking about them. But again, by the time this video airs tomorrow, which is today, because it's airing today, I'm hoping that all of these will be here. But let me know your thoughts on these fragrances. Have you found some great deals recently? Add a comment below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Hopefully my cold symptoms or flu symptoms were not so distracting, because I'm a little congested right now. And hopefully by tomorrow, when I'm shooting the spring-themed deep dive video for the following day, I'm a little bit better. But yeah, thanks so much for watching today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please click the subscribe button and also the bell icon. And I'm still asking everyone to head over to my shorts channel as well and subscribe to that channel as well, guys. I have it linked in the info box. And also, please give a thumbs up for this video, so it helps with getting the video out to more people. And don't forget to stick around for the bonus content after the outro. Okay, guys, the last part of this video, I'm going to focus on a brand called ORLOV Paris. I recently did a deep dive video on Dominique Ropion's fragrances. So when ORLOV Paris first launched around 2015, they launched with like 5 or 6 fragrances, and really obsessed with the collection. 2 of the fragrances I was really in love with. Sea of Light is one of them, but the one that I really loved was Star of the Season. And I mentioned in that video, what happened was they launched, and then all of a sudden, like a year later, I discovered that the fragrances were completely reformulated. Like people came up with comments and said the fragrances don't smell like anything like what I smell. So I actually contacted some retailers. One of them was Lucky Scent, and I asked what's going on with the fragrances of ORLOV Paris, and they said that all of the fragrances were reformulated, and I don't know what happened, but again, as I said, originally they were Dominique Ropion creations, and then they handed off the fragrances to be redone completely, changing the smells, like from one fragrance to another of the same name were night and day different. So I don't know what happened with the brand. They kind of disappeared after they did that, and then they came out with the several fragrances they launched together, and I think this was towards the latter part of the 2010s. And so those fragrances I found highly, highly discounted. And I don't know these fragrances personally. And I'm going to talk to you about them here. So that's why this video is going to be a bit longer than normal. Okay, I had to take a quick pause there because I didn't write down any information on the fragrances to let you guys know about the fragrances. But the discounts are so awesome. I don't know why these are this highly discounted, because I think these bottles normally sell for anywhere around $250. So 75 ml for around $30 to about $40 for many fragrances from ORLOV Paris. Now, they're not the original fragrances like Star of the Season or Sea of Light that Dominique Ropion had done, and later other perfumers redid, keeping the same names and smelling completely different. But this is, like I said, the second drop of fragrances from the brand ORLOV Paris, which, again, I have no idea what has happened to this brand. I know the brand owners that I had met one time did launch another brand right after the pandemic or during the pandemic. And I don't even know what has happened to that brand, but I'm just giving you guys the idea and the scoop on these really inexpensive fragrances, and if you're in the market for them, you can take advantage and get them. So the first one I'm going to talk to you about is called Empower You, ORLOV Paris Empower You. So let me just show you a little bit of the bottles. And these bottles, the original bottles were not clear. The new bottles are clear, but the original bottles look like this. This is Sea of Light. It's like a fresh fragrance that is not marine, even though it's got the word sea in it. It's a bit fruity, but so awesome to wear, very long lasting, and one of my favorites when this first came out. The one that I really loved was Star of the Season, and that is a sandalwood focused fragrance. And so those are what the bottles look like, and these fragrances now are clear, and they're completely clear bottles, but they have, niche fragrances in them. And Empower You 75 ml, $30. Featuring notes of citruses. There's ginger, cassis, orange blossom, jasmine, cedar, musk, and patchouli. So that's the first fragrance. And again, I can't guarantee that these are going to be great. I just bought all of them along with the Hermes on Jardin on Mediterranee. So I'm going to check them out. And when I receive them, I'll let you guys know about them like I did with the BYREDO and the 2 MUGLER. The next one is called Sundrop, 75 ml for $37. This one features notes of rose, saffron, oud, nutmeg, cloves, cinnamon, sandalwood, musk, patchouli. So this is an oud rose combo, and the first one seems to be more fresher, citrusier, getting deeper, earthier when it's drying, musky as it's drying down. But the Sundrop seems to be more of a Middle Eastern style rose oud combo with warm spices like the cloves and cinnamon, very warm spices. And you've got the patchouli and the musk in the base. And it seems like Empower You and Sundrop both have musk and patchouli in the base. The next one's called The Best of Me. This is rose, citruses, vetiver, barley, bran, tonka, sesame, patchouli. This one sounds really yummy to me. Barley and bran. I like the idea of these kind of notes. So it's a kind of a combo of rose and these doughy kind of notes, grain kind of notes. So it's going to come off with granular because it also has a slight nuttiness, milky powderiness of the sesame in there as well. This is the one I'm looking forward to the most out of what I've purchased. But again, since I'm a collector, I'm buying these at really, really great prices. The next one's called Walk on the Wild Side. Not a walk on the wild side, but walk on the wild side. This one seems to be the leather idea, leather, saffron, jasmine, pink pepper, bergamot, cypress. There's also white amber, iris, musk, and vetiver. This one seems to be super complex. It's also going to be probably super strong because of the leather idea. And we shall see. Again, I don't know who did these fragrances. I didn't look them up, and I didn't even look at the databases. I knew they had launched. And again, completely caught off guard with what happened with these original fragrances. I mean, they were so good. Why did they reformulate them and kept the names the same? So it's weird what brands do. But again, I don't know what's going on with the brand now. But maybe they're just completely being cleared out because they're not in business anymore. And that's why these are very highly discounted. The next one's called Burning Desire. It's 75 ml for $35. So most of these are $30 or $35, with one of them being $37. So great prices. Burning Desire is citruses, cardamom, black pepper, rose, raspberry, and musk. So it's a fruity, spicy, floral kind of combo with the musk in the base. This one sounds like it could be a fun freshie with some substance with the spices. We shall see. If you guys have ever gotten your nose on any of these fragrances from Orlov, I remember sampling them from samples, never physically from the bottles, and I never saw them anywhere. So again, I don't know what's going on with the brand. I'm just here to let you know about the deals because these are really, really great deals. Just like the Jacques Fath fragrances that were discontinued and highly discounted, these are just like that. The next one I'm going to talk to you about is called Hope. And it's a $30 for the 75 ml. So there's two for $30 in the series. One for $37 and the rest are $35. Hope features notes of peach, osmanthus, rose, violet leaves, bergamot, pink pepper, musk, patchouli, and cedar. So this is a fruity floral, it looks like, and capitalizing on stone fruit, the peach, and then of course osmanthus goes stone fruity and a bit leathery. And it's also ozonic and spices, and that musk and patchouli is also here as well. I wonder if their goal was to make a lot of fragrances with musk and patchouli in the base. It either has musk or patchouli or musk and patchouli. And then the last fragrance is Out of the Box, 75 ml for $35. So it's rose, peony, pink pepper, caramel, amber, jasmine, incense, vanilla, and white musk. So Out of the Box is the last fragrance I'm talking about from Orlov Paris. And I like the idea of this one. This one seems like a floral gourmand or an amber gourmand. or amber floral, I should say, because it has ambery notes, vanillic notes, gourmand notes with a lot of different floral notes as well. Does this one sort of go into the Delina direction? I'm thinking the rose and the peony. No fruits though, because Delina does have the lychee fruit and also the rhubarb in there. But this out of the box is kind of reminding me of that. But anyway, those are the fragrances from Orlov Paris. Highly, highly discounted. Again, I don't know what has happened to this brand. It's just a really mysterious thing. I got to meet the brand 1 year at Aix-en-Provence. One of the years I went to Aix-en-Provence, that's where I met them. And then after that, the brand is completely different. Although I believe the fragrances had changed by the time I had gone. I can't quite remember. But it's a bummer because Star of the Season is so damn good. I don't know the current version, but no, I do know the current version because I smelled samples of the current version. But again, these could also be completely discontinued. So we can't have our access to them. But I happen to have these two, thankfully, and I'll keep them. But Star of the Season was one of the best sandalwood fragrances I had put my nose on. It's so damn good. Yum. It gave me a little bit of the idea of a Samsara. It's creamy, but also a bit like granular, like shaved wood. But also super, super cozy. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Take advantage of these deals if you're in the market for discovering some new fragrances at really, really highly discounted prices. And I'll be back soon with another video. And hopefully I'll have that spring-themed video for you guys tomorrow. See you later. Bye-bye.